What do you do?
I'm a builder. I work for building sites in London, and the point I wanted to ring up to make was listening to your coverage of Azeem Rafiq's testimony today.
Yes.
And the thing that struck me was bearing in mind I work on building sites, we all know what banter is and we all know what crossing the line is. And the point being is that the gentleman from the cricketing board, he made a statement. He said, "We're going to sort this out. We're going to sort it out quickly, and because our sport depends on it. Survival of our sport depends on it." The thing that really struck me, and all right, it's an excerpt, so I might not have heard the full statement. He didn't say, "I'm sorry." He didn't say it was disgusting the way you were treated. He didn't say that we're going to sort this out because it was evil, it was wrong, bigotry. We're going to stamp it out. It was just the whole tone of it was self-preservation and how the optics of it looked. And that really struck me as that's not the message that they should be sending out to young cricketers. I mean, cricket isn't my sport, but it just really struck me as it seems to be the priorities of the cricket board was more about, as history has shown, covering it up, minimising the damage, not actually getting to the grips with the problem.
I think that's the point. And I said earlier, Paul, that if this is the frightening thing for me, there was an independent inquiry. Yorkshire were given the results. They didn't apologise. They didn't feel the need to punish anybody. They said, we'll learn from this. We'll move on. Patently, this young man, Azeem Rafiq's life was destroyed and his career was destroyed. And the bravery by which he's done what he's done says everything. I'll tell you what I take from your call as well. And this is not me disagreeing with you. I'm just making a point. You said that you work on a building site. You know the line between banter and hurtful comment. I think the best thing that can come from today is that there will never, ever be, I hope, any confusion on that from here on in. I think the problem is, if I could just say, I think the problem is I completely accept and agree that some awful stuff has been said and done. But if this achieves anything, it re-educates people and says, look, these are the boundaries, right?
Yeah, can I just add one thing to that? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm your stereotypical white skinhead builder, quite right-wing in some of my views. I've suffered reverse prejudice almost. People assume that I'm uneducated, and I'm not way trying to compare it. But I'm saying I can empathise a bit. I'll go into a shop and I've got, you've got concrete-covered, muddy boots, concrete-covered boots. People treat you in a certain way. But, if it's the colour of your skin, you can't change that. And, I've spoken to people in the past, the P word. I was like, well, what's the problem with it? It's just an abbreviation. You call people, a paddy, a jock, a Brit, a broad. And I had it explained to me by an Asian gentleman. He said, no, the associations and the history of that word was used as a hateful word. And, he said, every time I walk into a room of, like majority white builders, I've seen it now, when I look for it, there's a little inlet of breath, a little bit of nervousness, like how are these people going to treat me? Am I going to suffer abuse? And nobody should have to walk through into a room like that.
Absolutely.
And that's what the proudest moment I've ever had is on site where a group of Eastern European lads, and maybe they're 30 years behind us in culture and what's acceptable. The gate man who had the keys was late one morning and they gave him some racial abuse. And the British builder said, no, you're not having that. This is England. We do not treat people like that. And they took them to task on it. I said, you don't use racial terms like that. You can take the mickey out of them for being late. That's fine. Like I'm saying, the line between banter. Like, you don't talk about people's mothers, you don't talk about dead relatives. There's certain things we all know that you don't take the mickey out of. But, at the same time, you can have a laugh and treat people normally, include people in banter. Cause that can be a form of bullying as well, by excluding people from, normal jokes on site. So I think, but anyway, going back to the point was, I think we've lost sight of, the fact that this, the experience that these people are going through is terrible and wouldn't wish it upon any human being.
Completely agree. Listen, mate, thank you so much indeed, Paul, on the M25.